about Mr. Gillard because he sent me some information about the Atlantic Burn Camp. So, Grant, welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm here.
Grant, are you there?
Yes, sir.
There he is.
There he is.
Didn't even press the button correctly. Grant Gillard, welcome to the show. How are you?
Not too bad, sir, not too bad.
Good. Well, I can certainly start the conversation by saying congratulations to you. I think this burn victim, or pardon me, burn camp, the Atlantic Burn Camp seems to be a wonderful project. And tell me, for how long has this been in existence?
Well, John, this is going to be my 5th year attending camp as a leader now.
Mm-hmm.
And to the best of my knowledge, it's been going on now for a good 14 years, no, even more. Good over 20 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Over 20 years. Well, obviously, there are people who suffer from first to third degree burns unfortunately, on a infrequent basis. So clearly, the need for a camp such as this is obvious. But tell us, what can one experience at this camp?
Well, there's very, very many different things that you can experience, and that's what I'm hoping we can touch base on this today.
Please.
Well, like for instance, what we do, we try to get kids as between the ages of 7 and 17, and it's a totally free camp. It doesn't cost the family anything to attend. There's been instances where I've had to meet up with kids here in Gander, and even if the parents at the transport in Gander will cover their gas, there has been instances where the RCMP and things like that has volunteered to transport a kid to me or to another leader in order to get them on the bus to go to the camp. So what we do, we take them on the bus, and it's usually a good fun time on the bus, laughing, singing, watching movies. Right, so then we go on to either the Argenta Ferry or the one over in, help me out here.
Port Bass.
Thank you.
Hey!
You're still on track, or the Port of Bass Ferry, yeah. And get on the ferry, and we usually have a bit of fun there because it's usually someone playing music or one of the kids to bring along to get her, and we have a little sing along and book a couple cabins, have a good sleep, and they get to see all the scenery across. And then when we get across, we have another bus that picks us up over there. We get to the camp, we have a big welcoming committee, of course, all the other campers on the Cape Breton side. That's where the camp is located, over in Cape Breton. They are all there welcoming us with open arms, and right there and then the kids feel so welcome, and it's like they have a brand new family for themselves there.
That's amazing. Listen, when I went to summer camp for the first time, when I was 10, I made a lot of pals on the bus, and I still keep in communication with them. I think the bus, the experience of the travel, the embarking on the first leg of the journey is the best place to make some good friends, because, you are in close proximity with these people, and what better time than to start up a conversation, no matter if you're shy or not. You're really, they're in your face, and you're in their face, so why not start a conversation? Tell me, what is it like for those who attend the camp, because this camp is specific as opposed to any others? These are for people who have suffered burns of 1 degree or another. Tell us about those who are eligible, I suppose.
Right, well, that's exactly the thing. Any burn injured child is eligible. What I try to stress to people is that, it doesn't matter what size of burn you have. We have kids there that's got, say, a little burn on their leg, maybe a burn on their back, so I think some parents will look at it like, why should my kid attend? Because my kid's not overly burned, and I don't look at it that way. It's not what you have, it's what it could have been. You might have touched the stove with your leg and got burned, but that could have been a lot worse, right? As a burn injury. Besides that, we have also burn injuries that extreme. We have burn injuries that could be up to 80 to 90% of a body. And it's not like if you have a kid that's, say you have a kid that's disabled because of a burn injury that requires special assistance. We also have, a on-site nurse, we have on-site paramedics that are also there to help treat these kids, any special dressings they need. And transportation-wise, there's always ways to make a transportation-wise comfortable and good for them. And that's the reason why I'm trying to stress this, because I feel like the people I've spoken to in Newfoundland, like my nurses and doctors from the past and things from my own accident, and they are very unfamiliar with the camp. So that's why I want to really stretch the importance of this camp and the fun activities that they do at this camp. They won't want to leave. I guarantee that. And even for the younger kids, the ones that's 7, 8 years old, we've had a couple on the Nova Scotia side that's been with us now the last couple of years, and they came in as just a 7-year-old kid, and families were concerned, of course, because I was my child going to adjust, and it was like they were there forever. It was like as soon as they seen these other kids and how they were burned, and they're like, well, I'm not alone anymore. I'm not going to be out to play with these kids. I'm going to be treated as normal. And when they go back home, they're telling all their friends everything about this, and it's going to help them grow as a better person. And because they're scars, we all know they're going to get bullied, which is always a big deal, always a big thing. But because of this camp, it's going to give them so much more confidence, and they're going to learn that how to deal with bullying the right way, instead of turning around and crying and being depressed, and which will affect them while they're growing up.
Absolutely.
Yes. I've seen a lot of changes, John, in this. Like, I've seen kids that, my first year I went there, I've seen kids that through the last 4 years, sorry, because it's my 5th year going,
Okay.
but through the last 4 years, I've seen a kid that came in, they could be depressed and upset, and now they come in there and they're telling me that got a girlfriend or got a boyfriend, like how kids are, right? And talk about how their friends are all playing with them now and accepting them because they don't admit it, but I know it's because of the camp. And as a senior leader and a burn survivor of my own self, I feel like with me being there, that's showing them as an adult. I'm gonna grow up as an adult. I'm looking at Grant there, and he's got over 40% burns on his body, and they see my attitude, and I speak to them, and encourage them what your life is going to be like, and it's going to be just like this, because I'm just being positive and helping you the best I can, and now when you grow up, you can do the same thing I'm doing.
That's just fantastic. And just for the purpose, we're running up against the clock here. Grant, you did mention to me, and I think that this is beautiful, people throw around the word victim way too often these days. And you've already described yourself as a burn survivor. And you wrote to me in an email, you said that the best way to describe yourself and other volunteers at the camp would be as leaders. And also a lot of people ask you how you describe yourself as a burn victim, or do you? Tell me what your answer was.
Well, let's try to slow down that clock. So anyways, yeah, right, well, the thing is, when I was in the hospital, I was in a coma for 2.5 months. And I woke up from that coma, of course, in depression and anxiety, and I got in that accident as a normal-looking man. I woke up 2.5 months later, full of scars, bandages, couldn't walk, couldn't barely speak, seeing double type of thing, And what I looked at, I'm a victim of this, like I am a burn victim. And then one day a guy came in and he said to me, he said, Grant, a local burn survivor, and he said, when you get up, he said, and you start to walk these floors, and when you walk out through those hospital doors, you are no longer considered as a victim, because you've survived this accident, right? You're no longer considered as a victim. You are now a burn survivor. And that is the difference between victim and survivor. In order to be considered as a burn survivor, anyone that's burned in any way, you have to, psychologically say to yourself, I'm a survivor. I survived this ordeal, even if you are still disabled, even if you are still in a wheelchair, even if you need help from home care or anything. The thing is, you survived this. And that is a great ordeal to survive. The pain,
Thank you, sir.
And the therapy, and the constant doctor visits, and the constant psychological, that you got to go through. You are now a survivor. You have survived so much, and a lot of people don't realize that, but they have.
Thank you for that message. It's very important. Grant Gillard, I've tweeted out the website for the Atlantic Burn Camp. For those who do not have access to a computer, is there a telephone number?
I'm going to throw a bunch of numbers at you, actually. Okay. Now, the camp is held between August the 16th to the 23rd, and the toll-free number for the camp is 1-855-282-2876, and anybody that's in the Newfoundland, and we actually even have kids from Labrador that we've managed to get over as well.
Wonderful.
Stretch that. So anybody can also contact me as well. My name is Grant Gillard, and they can call me at 381-0505. And I'm also on Facebook as Grant Winston Gillard if they would like to go on Facebook, which I'm also sharing the website as well.
Thank you very much for all that info, Grant. We'll make sure we get that out on our website if possible as soon as we can. Thank you for your time, sir, and give me a shout closer to August. We'll promote this again.
There's no problem, John. That's what I was just going to say, buddy. But no, I like to stretch